Hi, I'm Tom. Over the years, I've gained over 300 million views online talking about this one thing.
Bulking.
Gaining weight and building muscle is something I know very well. Since going from 55 kilos up until 90 kilos, not only have I done it throughout the years, but I've helped other skinny guys do the exact same thing. So if your goal is to gain weight, whether that's just to get big, get stronger, or to achieve a muscular physique, I'm going to give you my honest advice that would have saved me years of trial and error and slow progress in 6 simple steps. The first step, adopting the new way of bulking. Now, bodybuilding really grew during that Arnold period where you had guys like Ronnie Coleman, Arnold, all the OGs competing. And these huge, massive guys would just tell you to eat more and have 6, 7 lots of chicken and rice every single day. But if you're just the regular guy who's wanting to get into better shape, add a bit more muscle on, and just look more aesthetic, the chances are it's not going to be sustainable to cram in loads of dry chicken and rice, especially when you're working full time and the gym isn't your only priority. Now, when I was younger, I tried doing what they said. I tried eating mountains of chicken and rice every single day, but it just wasn't sustainable. And after a few weeks, I gave it up. If you're not competing in bodybuilder shows, you want to adopt the new way of bulking, which is lean bulking. This is where you eat in a small calorie surplus, gain weight, gain muscle, but still have a low body fat percentage. With your meals, as a skinny guy, the appetite is always a main issue. So you want to go for calorie dense meals, things like creamy salmon pasta that has 800, 900, even 1,000 calories. Yeah, it's way less filling compared to this huge massive plate of just rice and chicken. And instead of 6 or 7 meals, you can split up into shakes, snacks, and smaller bites. The second step, clean bulking. Now, people think this just takes decades and decades to do, and this is far from the truth. If you do a clean bulk and a lean bulk correctly, this will mean you won't have to cut. So often, it's actually quicker than doing multiple bulking and cutting phases. Dirty bulking in particular is the biggest scam. Most guys just end up fat or skinny fat from doing a dirty bulk. Not to mention the acne, low muscle mass, and low confidence that a dirty bulk brings. So, for a clean bulk, just eat healthy, whole foods. And it's really not that expensive either. You could get a rice pack, 100 grams chicken thighs, 100 grams peas, and a bit of halloumi, and altogether, that whole meal is £1.60. So, to eat clean, high protein, and healthy, it's really not that expensive. And number 3, no excuse mindset. Now, this may seem like a harsh truth, but a lot of you skinny guys are semi-comfortable, know exactly where you deserve to be. Like, yeah, you want to get bigger, and for 3 days of the week, you're tracking everything, you're hitting every single workout, every single meal. But then for the other 4 days of the week, you miss a meal here, you miss a meal there, work gets in the way, you blame your genetics, blame your metabolism, and when you're in this constant yo-yo state, you'll never progress. You have to dial in 100%. And if you are truly uncomfortable with your physique, with your scenario, you'll be willing to do anything it takes to change. And the thing is, being skinny is a silent killer, because when you're fat and when you're out of shape, it's a lot easier to be aware of it because everyone can tell that you're out of shape. But when you're skinny, you can hide in oversized jumper, oversized t-shirts, and it's not technically as bad. And so many guys can get to 20, 30, 40 without even realizing that they are skinny. And honestly, the benefits that you get from transforming your physique and getting jacked is unparalleled. When I got jacked, everything changed. I went from the guy who was hiding behind people when he had to do a class presentation and shaking, to them speaking at Eton College, the most prestigious college in the United Kingdom. This all came from building up my physique and as a result, building up more confidence. And if you wanted me to guide you step by step along the lean bulking process and transform your physique, you can click on the first link in the description. But either way, you need to draw the line here. You can either accept that you're gonna stay in your position and that you're comfortable, or you can actually take action and make the change. Number 4, liquid calories. Now, I've gone over these a lot within this channel, and liquid calories are amazing because it's way easier to drink 1,000 calories compared to eating it. And at the end of this video, I'll leave you with my 3 best bulking shakes, as I've already made a few videos on it. However, one really big hack that's important to know when you're making your shakes, things like oats, nuts, dates, and carb sources, you want to blend on their own first to get the consistency smooth. Because when I first started out, I remember seeing these videos of these guys drinking these bulking shakes and they're sipping it and be like, yeah, that tastes amazing, bro. It tastes so good. Then I try it and it's like sludge and I'm literally chucking up essentially. Unfortunately, this is one lesson I learned the hard way, but when you're making bulking shakes, please ensure you blend the oats or the nuts on their own first, then add the stuff later, so it's not like sludge. Number 5, tracking calories. Now, I reached a certain point at 75 kilos where my weight stayed the same for months and months. And I thought I was eating enough because every day I was super full up. However, this is not an indication that you are eating enough. Please, please, please make sure that you are tracking your calories. Don't make the same mistake I made. Now, you don't need to track your calories for the rest of your life. It's really important to learn to do it once, especially if your weight's plateauing. To do this, I just use my one-to-one coaching app and scan the barcode on food items. It takes less than 2 minutes per day and gives me 100% accuracy. And number 6, patience. Now, there's a reason why there's thousands or millions of fat loss transformations. However, for bulking, there's not as many. And the reason being is with fat loss, you can shred loads of weight in 30 days. Whereas with gaining weight, it can take a lot longer, especially when you're trying to gain lean muscle. So celebrate the small wins. And instead of fixating so much on the time aspect, actually start to fixate on how your life would improve and when you would finally get to that position, how everything would change. Alongside patience, self-belief is actually super important. And I don't want this to sound cliche, but it's true, because back when I first started my journey, I couldn't look online and see anyone who started from a similar point. And for years, I didn't think it was possible, so I didn't bother even giving it a go. So now you've got the belief. There's myself, there's my clients, there's other people who have pulled off this transformation. So why not you? You need to start believing in yourself and then taking the action and the necessary steps. So yeah, that comes to the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it. And as promised, here's the 3 best bulking shake recipe video. So feel free to check that out. And if you wanted to learn more about my coaching, just click the first link in the description. So yeah, drop a like, drop a subscription, and I'll catch you next time.